try this and see what happens. What's up, Lou? What's up, everybody? Will and Friends podcast or Will and Friends stream here on Facebook. Today's podcast, now you want to expand. Podcast 613, now you want to expand. As I'm trying to get my thoughts together here, Lou, I just got through watching that, whatever that was, between the Bucks and the Nets. Kyrie went down. Yeah, so whatever that was, Kyrie went down. Now the Bucks look like they have a shot to go ahead and make this. Well, it is a series now. It's 2-2. Best of 3 now, Lou.
I'll be honest with you, Will. I knew when the Bucks were going to return home, I knew they were going to make a series out of it. So was I surprised with this result? Not at all. And Kyrie's injury made it only more for the Bucks to take advantage of that. So adding that factor in, that made perfect sense. But I knew they were going to take at least one when they got back to Milwaukee anyway. So this is not a surprise.
Today was the best game the Milwaukee Bucks played in this series. This was the best game that they played. I don't have anything, man. I see it like this. If the Bucks are going to be allowed to play physical like this, make it tough for KD to get even open, let alone get shots. But for him to get open, they'll be all right. They'll win. I mean, that's just the way it is. It looks to me. It seemed like the officiating changed when the games went back to Milwaukee.
Yes.
That's the way it seemed to me. So
that's why I was thinking was going to happen anyway. So I guess to put it this way, the buck doesn't stop here.
The buck don't stop here, nor do the officiating stop here. But before we get into the NBA and the playoffs of the NBA, college football bowl committee, playoff committee decided that they want to recommend or propose a 12-team playoff. What do you think, Lou?
Well, okay, the thing is, it was always like, start out with 4 teams, then you would go to 8 teams and whatnot. Where do you think that it should end? Because if you keep going down the line, you're not going to get the same type of quality that you had with, like, say, 4 or 8 teams. You don't want to go too far down the line because the last thing I think the college football wants to do is expand so much you get to those low-ranked teams that have a record like 4-7 again in the playoffs. So, I would think maybe that if you're going to do 12, I think that's where it should be it. You don't want to go too more far down the line because the quality will just be right down the tubes, and nobody wants to see that. Don't make it go like the NCAA basketball where you have 199 teams. All right, 68. I was being sarcastic. Right? Some of those schools, the only way they got in because they still believe in the automatic they win your conference title. But some of those weak conferences, like in the Midwest and like that, they have like an 8-9 record or a 8-10 record. And they still got in because they let all their teams in their conference. And, I know it makes for great upsets, but at the same time, it's a lack of good quality. And I don't think college football wants to go down that road.
You think it's about the quality, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a fair opinion. Yeah, it probably would suffer the quality or whatever you just said. My whole thing is that extra games mean more free labor. That's what it means to be. These kids still not getting paid. This is a money grab by the NCAA. This is a money grab by the NCAA and the goofballs that run the NCAA and these college tournaments and these different conferences. It's just a money grab. That's all it is.
Like that for years, decades actually.
Yeah, it has been, and it's gonna still be that way. So I'm not overly excited about it. I think it's a bunch of garbage what they're doing. But if they feel, and the kids are the administrators and everybody feel that, hey, it's a good thing,
right?
And they're gonna play these games. Hey, it is what it is, man. Well, that's all I can say about that. It's just it is what it is.
Well, let me ask you. Yeah, I know you're not from the Jersey area, but do you think Rutgers would have a shot?
They still have a football program?
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't think Rutgers has a shot, Lou.
I just thought I'd try. I just thought I'd try to throw.
No, they don't have a shot, man.
Thanks.
It is what it is as far as they're concerned. Their program hasn't been anything since your boy left. What's his name? What's the dude's name? Shiano?
Shiano.
Since Shiano's been gone, they haven't had a shot. So Nah, man. I don't see them having any opportunity to do anything except win 4 or 5 games a year unless they just catch lightning in a bottle one of these years. You know how that is. Catch lightning in a bottle, they will. But again, this is just an opportunity for these people to get free labor out of these kids. Kids are not getting no money out of it. The conferences and the schools are going to make money. And that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is.
Considering how much they lost last year from the pandemic, this is, I guess the way to try and make it up.
I guess that's the correct assessment that you're making. That's the way to make it up. So it is what it is.
Well, it's just my opinion. I know if anybody else agrees with me, you probably don't, but that's the way I. Does anybody really agree with me anymore when I do these shows? Nah.
Oh, well, I don't think you do a show to get whether or not somebody's going to agree with you. You do a show because that's what you want to do. It would be, but I mean, it's not going to change anything whether somebody agrees with your opinion or not. It's your opinion, and you're allowed to make it. So whether someone agrees with you or not, to me, has nothing to do with the price of tea in China.
Well, it'd be nice to be not alone,
Yeah. Sometimes it's best to be alone, Lou.
Maybe you're right.
Sometimes it's best to be out there on your own and not worry about
what others say.
Right.
I get it.
As you probably heard that echo in the background, we're waiting on D. He said he'll be here maybe 5 minutes after the show starts. So wait on him to come on in, get his thoughts. Lou, what do you think about OTAs? NFL off-season training.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think about that?
I've always wondered about that. I mean, because you have training camp, which is I think more important. So why would you OTAs? And the thing is that there's also a big lapse in between the last OTAs and when you report to training camp. I mean, it's not really necessary because I was on another show this past week and the host was explaining that too. Why would you have to have such a long layup between the last OTA and training camp? I mean, should the OTAs be done away with? I mean, are they really necessary? I mean, that's why you have training camp to get your guys prepared for.
It's a job. That's why. It's a job. So yeah.
But some of them are mandatory. Some are, but some aren't.
Well, some teams have at least one mandatory.
Just one.
Yeah. So, but hey, it is what it is, man. Yeah. I don't have an issue with it, but it seems like if you're fighting for your contract or you're in a contract dispute with the organization, you're not required. You will get fined, as in the case with the Miami Dolphins, Xavier Howard, who is thinking he should cash in on his career year, 10 interceptions. He just signed an extension in the year before or a year or two before. It was recently.
Yes.
And at that time, he was paid as the highest defensive back, Lou. And now he's not. But anyway, he wants a contract. He wants his contract renewed and restructured. So he's disgruntled. I think it's 14 per. I think he wants a little bit more than that. Yeah, I think he wants that Jalen Ramsey money, which he probably doesn't.
I'd be a fool to set up. So
he don't deserve it. No DB. No defensive back in the National Football League deserves best player on defense money because their entire position is reactionary. It's a reaction position. So and it is really dependent upon the pass rush more than likely. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not you're able to, whether they're able to get pressure, you're not in coverage as quite as long. So, and then you're reacting to what the receiver do. So to me, you're so dependent upon other people for your success, so why should you be paid best player of the defense money unless you're Deion Sanders or Rod Woodson or Darrell Green, one of them type of guys.
There'll never be another one of those.
Well, if you can lock down the entire side of the field, and then there's this thing out there that Xavier Howard is better than Jalen Ramsey. That's not even a debate to me. Jalen Ramsey's a much better player. He can literally lock down the side of the field. He's just not a playmaker in the mode of the Rod Woodson or the Deion Sanders, in my opinion.
Right. Well, there's only one Deion Sanders.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Those guys deserve best player on defense money because they can lock down a side of the field. Xavier Howard cannot lock down a side of the field. He's a good cover corner. Don't get me wrong in today's NFL. Yeah. But he's not a guy that I can say, okay, he's going to lock down the entire side of the field. And I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Right. Deion, let's put it this way. You want $15 million or $20 million? Both.
And I'm for the player getting paid. I'm for that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in on a player, trying to cash in on his money. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Xavier Howard looking at it that I had a career year. Now I want to be paid in the top. I'm not mad at that. But do you deserve it? Or should if it was Will's money, no, you wouldn't get it from me. If I ran a team, no. If I was a GM, no, I'm not paying no DB that. So I would try to make the best deal possible. The Dolphins have already proven that they would move people to get draft capital. So they did it with Mika Fitzpatrick. They did it with Larry Tunsil. Hey, maybe it's time to do the same thing with Xavier Howard and see if you can get another number one.
Good luck.
Why not? Jamal Adams, the Jets got a number one for Jamal Adams.
Yeah, but Jets didn't do very well.
Yeah, but the Jets knew they weren't going to do well. They knew they weren't going to do well before they made that move. But anyway, there's a desperate GM that thinks they're a shutdown corner or a good cover corner away from making a playoff run or making a Super Bowl run. So I would like to see it. I would like to see the Dolphins if he's disgruntled and they can get draft capital for him, move him.
Yeah.
Move him. You hate to see 10 interceptions walk out the door, but if you can get draft capital, you get draft capital. That's the way I see it.
Yes.
It ain't no need of sitting here sugarcoating it. Let's go ahead and get draft capital, man. D is here. But if a dude is disgruntled because of his money, especially in NFL, and NFL careers can end at any time. Well, anyway, any injury, any league injury can take you out the game. But I'm all about them getting paid. But again, Xavier Howard is not best defensive player on your defense type player that should get paid. No. D, what's up, man?
He's muted, I think.
No, he is. D. When he get his audio together, he'll chime in. All right. Okay, there he is. I think that was him. Okay. All right, let's get into this NBA playoffs as I'm trying to wake myself up. Seriously, it's been a long couple of days for you, boy. But let's get into the NBA playoffs. I haven't really been following along so much. I did watch these last two ball games. There we go. I did watch last night between the Clippers and the Jazz, and then I just watched the Bucks and the Nets. I have just totally disregarded the Suns and the Nuggets because the Suns are just putting it to them boys, which should have been expected. And then, but the game I want to ask you guys about, Philly and the Hawks. Why it took Doc Rivers 3 games to realize that Ben Simmons can penetrate the ball to the hole, or he can post him up. I don't care if they put John Collins on him. I don't care who they got on him. They can't really stop Ben Simmons. Only can stop him is backing off and making him shoot a jump shot. But they have nobody on Atlanta that can guard Ben Simmons. Why it took Doc Rivers 3 games deep to figure that out? I think he's frozen. Here we go. So, Lou, why do you think it took Doc Rivers 3 games to figure that out?
Rivers is a sketchy character. I mean, he had the same problem with the Clippers and whatnot. So I think it's carrying over. He hasn't gotten the gist of it yet with Philadelphia. But watch out for Trae Young with the Atlanta Hawks because he's going to make this a series. I don't think it's over with this yet. So you got to watch out for Trae Young and the Hawks.
Why is Doc a sketchy character, in your opinion?
Well, I've watched him play. I've seen him coach. And, of course, last year with the Clippers, a choke artist, as they were, and that's what's carrying over. So, you got to think, is the history going to repeat itself? I mean, wherever Rivers goes, there's always been a problem. The same thing was a player with the Knicks. I mean, it started out good, but then just been trashed. He doesn't really thrill me that much.
Wasn't he on that team that got the #1 record in the Eastern Conference and the Bulls beat them in 6 games?
No, he left for Boston then.
You sure?
Yes, I think.
You sure? Because I definitely remember that year they were the #1 team, the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and he got in a fight with Kevin Johnson in that big brawl that happened between the.
I think he left after the 91.
Yeah, between the Suns and the Knicks. No. That was Doc Rivers, bro. No. That was Doc Rivers and Kevin Johnson got into it. Trust me.
He sure did.
And Greg Anthony sucker punch. And Greg Anthony sucker punch
Remember that?
Kevin Johnson because Kevin Johnson and Doc Rivers got into it. No. So how's that Doc Rivers' fault that Charles Smith didn't dunk the basketball?
It's not. I mean, it was classic. Just dunk the ball. He could have just dunked it with one arm.
Yeah.
He was trying to play patty cake, man. That's one of the worst decisions in the history of basketball. They probably make the finals that year with no problem.
Exactly. They had the home court. They had home court. But anyway, my question
in perfect position.
He was under the basket, and then he's 6'11", 6'10", whatever he is. Yeah, he could have. I mean, good grief. I mean, they swallowed their whistle, which is what they do, which is another reason why I got a problem with this Bucks Nets series, because if you're going to let them play Kevin Durant like that, the Bucks should be competitive. So, but anyway, that's another subject. We'll get into that in a minute. But my question before you froze was, why did it take Doc Rivers 3 games to realize that they have nobody that can stay in front of Ben Simmons if he's going to the basket, and he can play in the post and pass out the post? Why it took Doc Rivers 3 games to figure that out?
Because I think as much as Doc wants to act like he supports Ben, he still is afraid sometimes to let Ben have to go to the line a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like Ben came through in this last game. It was like, okay, screw this. I'm going to the basket if you foul me. Da, 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 da. But that should be the mentality all the time. But he doesn't always have that. That goes to the coach and him. Because if you're a great player, hey, I got the ball. You on the sideline. If you can't stop me from going to the rim, if I already got it, you know what I mean? That's kind of up here.
Thank you.
That ain't necessarily on Doc Rivers. You do that yourself. And then a lot of times he was going to basket. It was on the break, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like it was like that little semi break where you got it and it's not a full fast break, but he was still attacking the rim. Like Doc Rivers can't make you do that. Everybody was like, oh, Doc challenged him. Your pride should have challenged you. Trae Young is a miniature, you know what I mean? He a bad dude, but he smaller than me, and he killing you because you letting him. You know what I mean? Like you gotta bully ball this dude.
I'm totally. I still don't get that. I don't know why they just don't run the pick with whoever he's guarding. I still can't figure that one out. Just everybody in this league switches, and if they if they don't switch, then you got an easy pick off. I don't understand that. Why you just don't go at the guy he's guarding and force that switch? I don't get it. I know Ben Simmons has an advantage over Clint Capella. I mean, that's obvious. We all know that. But you're telling me John Collins and Kevin Huerter and Danilo Gallinari are guarding Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons should be averaging 20 points a game in this series.
No, he should be averaging 30.
Yes.
He should be coming downhill all night. Listen, if he goes 50% from the line and he foul out half your front court, you won.
That's my point.
You won.
That's my point.
You gotta make him call it. You can't. You can't just hang around the perimeter and maybe hope to get a free back door. No, you got to go right at it.
Whoever they got guarding him, I don't get it.
I would blame that on Ben. I don't blame Doc. Because this ain't new. That's the thing.
No.
Everybody's like, oh, it's Doc Rivers' fault. It was Brett Brown's fault too. No, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah, you gotta do what you did in the second half of that game. Go downhill, bro. They got nobody that can stay in front of you. Only thing they can do is back off and make you shoot a jump shot. Then if they start to play that game, you know what you do? You run screen ball action off of him. That way, okay.
He still gets downhill.
He still gets downhill, but not only that, you know that the man guarding him is already in the paint. So if he makes that dribble handoff or that screen ball handoff, Seth Curry's got a wide open jump shot because Trae Young is the dude chasing him, or Lemon Pepper Lou. So I don't get it. Hey, that's a nickname. I think somebody said that's the nickname he gave himself. I thought I saw that on one broadcast. He decided to make himself Lemon.
Man. What's the name gave him that nickname, man? Shannon Sharp.
Oh.
Shannon Sharp did that to Lou, man.
All right, we just finished watching this game between the Bucks and the Nets. D, if they're gonna let them boys play Kevin Durant like that, Milwaukee got a shot. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
And plus, his two dudes that can help him are now probably both sideline as Kyrie turned his ankle, which I can't figure out why that wasn't looked at as a flagrant when Chris Middleton jumped into Bruce Brown and they looked at it as a flagrant. Why they didn't look at the situation with a flagrant with Giannis, whether he did it by accident or not. The rule is if you slide under the ball player's foot and he lands, that's be looked at as a flagrant.
Yeah. They needed to be competitive, man. People can say what they want about the league, but I'm of the opinion that they do a lot of stuff to influence how long these series go and don't go.
I'm with you 1,000%. I was with you today. I say, let me get this right. So Giannis can go down the hill and he's initiating a lot of contact. Trae Young does the same thing. James Harden does the same thing. They can initiate all this contact, and if they jump into the defender, you calling it on the defender. Kevin Durant can battle for post position with PJ Tucker, and PJ Tucker
for offensive foul.
Not only that, PJ Tucker can literally push him 3 more feet away from his initial post position, and you call nothing. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if you got an agenda and you want at least to go 6 or 7, then say that. Don't give us no, oh, well, they're calling it different. It's called tighter in the playoffs. Man, get out of here.
Okay, so what do you do for the next game? That's the thing. As an official and as a crew that's got to work that next game, how do you work the next game? Because if Brooklyn comes out and just start smashing people,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You can't then turn around and call it tight because everybody going to be like, come on now, really?
Yes.
Come on now.
Exactly.
Really? But listen, but I'm going to say this, and some people probably going to be mad, but Kevin Durant just got to experience what Steph Curry goes through all the time.
Good point.
Yes.
All the time. They let people just maul post Steph, and he still be giving you 40.
Yep.
And most people, you know what I mean, don't talk about that. They just, Steph didn't come through, bro. They holding him. The man would be naked if he had on tearaways. So
yeah.
Hey, KD, welcome to the party.
And Kyrie. Before Kyrie went out, and then in game 3, Jrue Holiday is a great defender. He really is.
Yeah, but he ain't that good.
He ain't, bruh. If the league is talking about impeding progress, Jrue Holiday would have been out of that game in the first half because that's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. That's the only way he can stay in front of Kyrie because he's as great of a defender he is. He cannot stop Kyrie Irving one-on-one. He knows that. He has to have some assistance with either he ain't even using the armbar. He just flat out grabbing. So it's like, come on, man. Y'all gonna let them play them like that in Milwaukee. But you saw what happened when you didn't let them play like that. They cooked them.
Yeah.
Well, you want a 6 or 7 game series. That's basically what you want.
But I've always had an issue with the inconsistency of how they call NBA games anyway.
Me too.
Because if I can be league MVP and I do all of this stuff in the regular season, and then you change the rules on me as soon as the playoffs start, how am I supposed to adjust to that? Like with James Harden, for instance, I'm gonna use him because he's one of the players I can't stand to watch play. But y'all give him this dude that led the league in free throw 7 straight years.
Yep.
But then when he get to the playoffs, y'all swallow the whistle. To me, that's not fair. If that's the case, then do that during the rest of the year, so he has a longer period to adjust to it. Because once you get to the playoffs, man, it's game, day off, game, day off, game, day off, maybe 2 here, day off. You know what I mean? You gotta try to reprogram your whole mindset. If I played 72 as of this year, 82 games, and then you just switch it up midstream, to me that just don't make sense. To the fan, that don't make sense because you watching the game like, bro, where the foul at? You know what I mean? 2 weeks ago in game 80, that was a foul. This week is not.
Right.
I don't get that.
No. You just don't get that. You want to,
No, it's hard to NBA right now. It's hard to watch. That's why I just wish before Kai got hurt, we could do the simulation like you do on NBA 2K. Just simulate this thing to the finals, bro. Just let me get Kawhi versus KD. Okay. That's what we want to see. We want to see Kawhi versus KD. I don't want to see Donovan Mitchell play against Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just don't.
No.
Because I already know how that's going to. I mean, that's just going to be unappealing to watch.
Kill him.
I want to see James Harden and Chris Paul.
Okay. Well, give us something attractive.
That's hatred. I want to see that. I want to see this pure dislike, sucker boy. You got me put out of town.
You want the rivalry. I want to see who is now going to be considered the best player in the world now that Buddy is sitting on the sideline getting ready to make a cartoon movie. So I want to know which one of these two cats between Kawhi and KD, because it's only between them two dudes. It's obvious.
Yeah.
These are the heir apparents, and these are the guys that are 2 and 3 in the league, because you can say whatever you want about Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard and KD and LeBron are right now fighting for the hierarchy of who's the best player in the world. Anthony Davis hurt too much, so he just put himself out the conversation. He only had 1 year where you can even consider him, but he stays hurt. So street clothes, as Charles Barkley calls him. I still think that's a bad nickname, but anyway.
Hey, man, shoot it.
It does in his case. But I want to see KD. Hey, I want to see KD versus Kawhi. I think that'll be a good matchup. But what you think about your boy last night, Pandemic P?
Lou, you want to hit that one first?
You can hit it.
Hey, man, everybody gave that man that name, man. Okay. All right, I know what that was. To me, he playing like I expect him to play. Like, I think everybody just kind of overdo it with the Pandemic P stuff. I just think he had one of them Nick Anderson kind of moments. He was in there, he was locked up. Everybody ain't mentally built like that, man. I don't care what you say. There's some people that really struggle with cabin fever and some of this other stuff. And they were like, oh man, everybody else had the same thing. Everybody didn't play great in the bubble. Okay. Everybody didn't play great in the bubble. It's just, he kind of got picked out because he was one of the more high-profile dudes. But the playoff, the Paul George that I'm seeing right now, the Paul George I expect to see. Mm-hmm. I expect to see that. You know what I mean? Like the crazy three with the dude right here. Like, I expect to see that from him. So I'm not surprised by that.
Neither am I.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
No.
You, Lou? You surprised?
No, I'm not really.
Well, both of y'all got short memories. And y'all don't remember this dude when he played with Russ in OKC?
But he wasn't bad when he played with Russ in OKC. Like, they had he had a bad series when they played Portland. I will say that. But as far as how he played for the majority of the time that he was there, he was pretty good. Now, everybody forgot he had to have surgery on both shoulders. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying, bro, you got to have surgery on both of your shoulders and you got to be back in 3 months. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot. You know what I mean? So I ain't really going to get on too heavy about.
What about him forcing his way out of Indiana when they were counting on him to be the face of the franchise and they were going to build a team around him after they made those deep runs against Miami? So we're not gonna count that either.
No. Reason why I say that nobody counts it against LeBron, ain't nobody counting it against James Harden.
Yeah.
None of them dudes, man. Hey, look, you do what you do. You do what you see everybody else doing. I don't want to be him leaving. What you think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen if Dame be like, hey man, I'm out. Y'all gotta do something. Get me out. You gonna be mad at Dame? No, you're not. Because Dame gave them everything he had. It ain't like PG got their money and didn't do nothing. He balled. You know what I mean? Like, he really did. He gave LeBron everything he wanted for a couple of games in 2 straight years going to the playoffs. You know what I mean? The next year, everybody got kind of beat up, but he didn't pull a Jamal Tinsley.
No, I agree.
He didn't get their money or Starberry. He didn't get their money and then just went haywire. Like, that's not the case. He definitely didn't pull a Hassan Whiteside. And he didn't ask to leave. They were begging him to leave. Listen, as soon as your contract expired, go anywhere but here.
It wasn't even expired, bro. They traded him, bro, and Portland took him because Jurkic was injured.
Right.
Miami was like, we got to get you away from South Beach if you want to resurrect your career, because you got that money and went to South Beach and lost your mind.
So, you know what I mean? So PG didn't do that. He balled. While he was there, he gave him what they had. When it was time, he was like, hey, look, I don't want to be here no more. I'm out. I can't really be mad at him. It's kind of the culture of the NBA right now.
So how frustrated is Donovan gonna get if he's doing everything he can and they lose this series to the Clippers? This will be 2 years in a row. This will be 2 years in a row. This cat done balled out. He balled out. They lost in 7 games to the Nuggets last year. And if he lose a 2-0 lead to the Clippers this year, and he is balling.
Yeah.
How frustrated should he be?
He is, man, but I would put an asterisk by that one. This is the only thing. Okay. I would put an asterisk by it because Mike Conley is not playing. Mike Conley is really important to that team. People underestimate what Mike Conley does. But Donovan Mitchell basically got to play the point and the 2 right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So even though he is balling, it's screwing up their regular rotation. You know what I mean? So you need that guy. You need that guy to kind of give him a break and let him kind of survey the game from a different point of view. So he'll be even more effective. So, you know what I mean? He probably will be frustrated if they lose. But, you know what I mean? Because Mike Conley Jr. is hurt, you know what I mean? I can kind of see where he'd be like, okay, we're going to run it back and see what happens. Now, Mike Conley Jr. ain't hurt. Like, if he come back and he close to 100% and they lose, then I'd be like, okay, they may have a problem. And then this is the thing. I don't think he's going to stay in Utah anyway. Ain't nothing to do in Utah. This dude is this close. D-Wade there because he's the owner. Right. There's a difference. Player, young, like to do stuff. Owner, older, married, got 4 kids.
And don't even live in Utah. Don't even live in Utah.
Yeah, he don't live in Utah. You know what I mean? He go to Utah when he want to. He live in South Beach or LA, depending on where he want to be right then. He go do his show, do TNT and whatever else he want to do. This is Donovan Mitchell's basic home for 8-9 months out of the year. So he wants to win. And, you know what I mean? If it don't work out, then you may have a problem later. But I give them a pass this year. If they don't make it and Conley don't come back and play, that's the only reason why I would say that, because they don't have a complete team.
All right, so D, you missed the early part of this game, early part of this show when I was talking about what the podcast title is with now you want to expand. I'm talking about the 12-team bowl mess that these idiots have come up with. And I call them idiots. And for those of you who don't like it, they're idiots to me. So, and there's 7,000 shows that you can watch that don't call them idiots on TV, podcasts, and all these type of things. I call them idiots. If you don't like it, keep strolling. But anyway, the NCAA decided, or the bowl committee decided they're going to do 12 teams. For me, I don't really care what you do because it's just more games to us to get to Alabama and Clemson. That's just where I see it. That's how that's going to go until somebody else can get these 5-star difference makers to come to their school. It's going to be pretty much Alabama and Clemson, and then Ohio State will lose, and Oklahoma will score 1,000 points and still can't play defense, and so it'll still be primarily the 4 teams. I'm serious. That's just what it is. That's what it's been the last couple of years. But anyway, my stance on this is I can get less. It's just more free labor.
I would agree.
The TV, the conferences are going to make money from the TV contracts. The coaches are going to get raises for making this dumb playoff thing. And the ADs and the chancellors can go to their schools and say, hey, look, guess what? We got this and we got an opportunity. So that's going to drive up more revenue for fans coming to the games because they don't think their team got a chance to make this 12-team playoff.
Right.
So what is your thoughts about this 12-team expansion?
I agree with you 100% on that one. I think it's just a way to make more money. Because to me, if they really want to do it, correct me if I'm wrong, but the lower divisions is what? Is either 32 teams or 16 or something like that?
It's 16. It's 16 in each division.
It's 16. Right. It's 16 in each division. So if you're gonna do it, model it after them, and then don't make it. Okay, well, we're going to use the bowl games to decide this because to me, it's just another way to make money. If you really want to do it, then make them home field advantages matter. So if an SEC team got a lower record than the champion from Conference America or wherever it's from, USA, make them go there. Make it count for something to be your conference champion for real. If you're going to really do it that way, then don't use the bowl system. Start the season 2 weeks earlier. Then you do not, because you ain't really got to wait till September, the second week of September to start the season. Y'all been out of camp. You can start the season the last week of August. You finish up a little bit earlier once the conference championship games are played. Because really, after Thanksgiving, don't nobody do nothing anyway. You just sitting around waiting. Use them next couple of weeks to run the tournament. By the time you get to New Year's Day, you're done.
Lou, one part I did miss on my question to you earlier
Oh.
And D just reminded me
Yes.
that the bowls will be incorporated. Now, let's just not even call this a conspiracy. This is real. The reason why they're trying to make the bowls relevant is because the kids are not playing. That's what this is.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go. Because everybody's like, I'm done.
Yep.
I ain't going to no bowl game. I'm getting ready for the draft.
Right.
Yep. So they want these games to be relevant again, to give the kids, make the kids have a tough decision and say, well, okay, now we're in the playoffs. So yeah, I'll play in this meaningless Tostitos bowl or whatever dumb bowl.
Yeah.
So Lou, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the sponsoring, like that. It's just, just to give it a name for their product, But now it's more of a playoff system, and I think it's gonna make this have to stay at least until that's over. Instead of always I'm gonna just jump to the draft right away. Forget the bowl game, forget all that. I'm leaving. At least this is better. I wasn't crazy about the bowl system or a system before that because that was meaningless.
There was no system before that. It's always been the bowl system.
They reverted to the polls, and that wasn't right either.
But it still went through the bowls.
Yeah, it still went through the bowls, but they voted.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't gonna work either.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to before the BS. I mean the BCS. I can't remember. I knew I was gonna say that. An old joke, folks.
But Lou, it's always been that before the BS or the BCS. It's always been that. Because Miami is a 5-time, a 4-time national champion with the dumb writers voting, and they decide who's number 1 and who's number 2, and sometimes number 1, number 2 didn't play. The reason they came up with the computers and the BCS garbage was because they wanted to guarantee that number 1 versus number 2 played. Right. That's why. But they kept tweaking it every year to where they said, okay, we'll just do all this thing is a +1. That's all it is. This bowl dumb playoff thing is just a +1. It's not a playoff. It's not real. It's a mirage. It's a David Copperfield trick. If those of you old enough to know who David Copperfield is.
Yes.
That's all it is. And now you're going to do 12 teams. So you're going to say 5 power conferences are going to get their champion in, and then we're going to let the lower schools get a champion in, and then we're going to pluck 3 teams from the SEC, basically, because we all know that's who's making it.
That was my main issue with the whole deal. They were like, we're going to have 6 conference champions and 6 at large, but usually the remainder of the top 10 is SEC teams. Exactly. No matter how bad their record is, because they play in the SEC, they got to be ranked higher than 11-win team from somewhere else. That makes no sense.
No.
And then you make that poor school who won their conference play a neutral site game against a power 5 SEC school.
Right. Instead of making that SEC school go to what may be a real raucous environment in one of these little bitty schools.
Raucous?
And then you really got something to look at. You know what I mean? Like, then it creates real excitement. I would do that just for the excitement of having to watch Florida travel to Coastal Carolina or somewhere. You know what I mean? Just to see what's going to do, what's going to happen. But that's not going to happen. You're going to send them to neutral site games. You got all these small schools who don't have huge fan bases. So the SEC team going to basically be the home team. You might as well just let them play in their stadium.
Yeah.
Not smart.
Or they got alumni full of teachers and principals who don't have the money to travel like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go. They got waste like that to go no darn football game in Idaho.
Exactly. So I think that's just it's the next money grab. That's all it is. Just the next money grab. I tell you what,
money grab.
These kids better stay away from the bowl game. Listen to it. Sean Wade lost a whole bunch of money.
Say it again.
By playing in the national championship game. This dude was rated the number 1, number 2 corner. And after the national championship game, everybody was like, this dude can't cover.
He can't cover the slot. Yeah, but he can't cover the. I know what they're saying. He was getting. Yeah, but he can't cover the slot. Then you're going to leave him out there one-on-one, and the man got 9 seconds to throw the football. Speaking of that, we were talking about OTAs, D, and this Xavier Howard thing. This Xavier Howard thing just went public. I don't know why this is. People that are Dolphin fans in Miami know that this dude's been griping about the contract since he got 10 interceptions. And this happened immediately, shortly after the season happened or the Super Bowl. he wanted a contract to be reconstructed because he felt he had a career year. I'm not mad at him for wanting more money because they get rid of you when you have a subpar year. So when you get a career year, cash in. I ain't mad at you. But I'm also looking at it from this standpoint. If I was the GM, I ain't paying no defensive back, top defensive player on my team money.
No, because what you do is kind of limited. You know what I mean? If they could just not throw at you, then you just over there collecting a check.
That's it.
Just run the ball at you a whole bunch. Give me the dude that's in the middle of the defense that's going to be involved every play. I pay him. If you got Aaron Donald, I pay him.
Yes. You pay Aaron Donald. I don't pay Jalen Ramsey either. I wouldn't pay him because
I agree.
Their position is all based on reaction and then all predicated on what happens around everything around them. The line got to put pressure on. It's just so many things. And then a team, like you said, he can just stay away from you. So I don't pay a DB top defensive player of the year money. So if he wants to make $20 million, he wants to be in that Jalen Ramsey range, which I don't think Jalen deserves it either, but he is better than Xavier Howard. I say we do to him what we did to Mika Fitzpatrick and Larry Tinsel. Let's see if we can get some number ones for him.
I was just finna say trade him.
Yeah.
Hey, bye.
Exactly. You know, I drafted the kid from Auburn.
I'm trying to think of who. Hey, call Jerry. He like paying people.
Oh, I would call Jerry. Jerry be my first call.
Yeah, call Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, I got something for you, man. What you want?
You know, I call him. I call off the blanks. Let's see who else. I might even see what San Francisco got on the deal. You know what I'm saying? What they got on the table. Because now he will make a huge difference out there. I would call Seattle because Pete Carroll like giving away number ones too. Pete Carroll is the Pat Riley of the NFL. So he like giving away number ones.
Hey, I hear you. Hey,
Xavier Howard's a nice player.
Yeah, but you ain't that kind of difference maker. Like, if you're gonna pay a dude $20 million, I need you to be involved in everything that happens. I need the offense to always know where you are. They can scheme to stay away from you as a top flight corner.
He had a career year, D. I ain't mad at the career year. He had a career year. The ball found him. He found the ball. Hey, that happens sometimes. You know, sometimes you catch those breaks, and sometimes you make those breaks happen.
But you got to look at what you dealt with in that career year. Bad quarterback play in New England, bad quarterback play in New Jersey, and then in their division have like the NFC North last year. So you played.
But D, when I seen him one-on-one against the top flight receivers, the Stephon Diggs 8.
Right. Very, very well. Twice.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So he ate. So I saw the big dude in Arizona. He ate in that game. So you nice. My boy Tyreek Hill ate. No, you're not that guy. I mean, you had a career year.
You can't ever say Tyreek Hill with like you just can't. Because Tyreek Hill eat every week. Like
But you want 20 mil. I'm gonna need you to shut him down. I'm gonna need you to be in front of him.
Yeah, at least pinch him. Like
at least pinch him. At least pinch him. But then if you're not that dude, and here's the difference. Let's go back to the Super Bowl. Do we think anybody in Tampa secondary is Xavier Howard? No. But how many catches and yards did Tyreek Hill have in that game?
I'll just say, they shut him down though, so that tells you can scheme a good player out of a game. Bill Belichick has shown us that time and time again. Okay, did they scheme him out of the game, or did they just harass Patrick Mahomes so bad to where he couldn't even find him? Oh, Mahomes was running like he run like Michael Johnson in the Olympics, man. Just somebody think about it.
Exactly. Just anybody that I see with a red shirt on and ain't wearing that white with pewter, I'm throwing the ball to you. So that's what happens. So that's what I'm saying. Xavier Howard,
the guys you pay. You pay the guys who make the other quarterback lay down.
That's what I'm talking about. So I want now thinking about it out loud. they got a linebacker out there, Wagner. Let me get him and a number 1.
Oh,
and
I
you can
know
have Xavier
Seattle.
Howard. Yeah. Or
okay,
let me get the young Bosa boy, and you can have Xavier Howard. Or you give me 2 number 1s. Which one?
Ain't
Which
nobody
one?
giving you both. Hey, I tell you what,
Well,
I'll take that linebacker Dallas got. Smith, you plug him right in.
I'm good.
Hey, look, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You strengthen your linebacker core, which you need, and you get rid of a guy who want way too much money. You free up some money so you can sign some more people.
No, I just had a guy that looks like him. We had him for 1 year. We sent him back to you.
Oh man, no! Come on now. I'll give what I can't remember what his first name is, but Smith better than Van Noy.
They to me they do the same thing. They're gonna do the same thing in my scheme. I'm gonna need them to be downhill attacking linebackers. I tried that with your guy that came over, who's supposed to know my defense, and he gave me 50. He gave me 60 tackles.
Hey man,
in 16 games.
He gonna have a career year in New England, man.
I don't care. You can have your career year there, but you didn't have no career year for that money I gave you. So bye. See you.
Hey man, Flores gave himself too much credit on that one. You ain't Bill. You my guy now. Listen, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting hard for you, but you ain't Bill. Bill got that. Bill is the defensive whisperer. Bill get up close to him and say stuff that ain't nobody else hear.
Brian, no, Flores he's had a top 10. He had a top-notch defense last year. It wasn't because of Anoy, it's because of Van Ginkel on the other side. So this is my thing. I got a cat that I drafted that's on a rookie salary, and then I paid you in free agency to come in and know my defense, and you don't know it. So deuces.
Y'all really got a dude named Van Ginkel.
Yeah. Van Ginkel. Got a dude named Van Ginkel on our team, bro. But I'm serious. I'm so serious. Van Noy needed to be gone. I didn't have a problem with Van Noy leaving. I don't have a problem with Flowers leaving. I didn't have a problem with Fitzpatrick leaving. I didn't have a problem with Larry Thompson leaving. I'm not gonna have a problem with Xavier Howard leaving. This is the N, the F, and the L, baby. There's very few defensive players that make a difference that way. Very few. You're not Lawrence Taylor. You're not Derek Thomas. You can have a collection of good players, and they can do things and have a great defense. Ask Bill 2 years ago. Only person we knew was Stephon Gilmore, and that's because he was in the defensive player of the year race. And we knew who else? Hightower, Patrick Chung, McCurdy twins.
Chung and McCordy.
Okay, so but are any of those guys all-time great defensive players? No, they're just very good in Bill's scheme.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So do something with Xavier Howard, you know what I'm saying? And your battery charge. Y'all can walk.
That's new.
Cheers. You can go. Bye.
You said and the battery charge.
Don't the door hit you on the way out.
Don't let it hit you. Cause no, somebody else brought that up. Somebody said they don't want to because they got a battery charge. The league is littered with them guys. If they can still play, they play. So sorry. Get over yourself. But I'm just saying Xavier Howard can go. And if I'm the Green Bay Packers, if I can't get a 1 for Aaron Rodgers, which is what I want because he's coming off an MVP year, then I tell you what, you're not getting traded because I'm not getting fair compensation for you, and then I ain't got to pay you, and your salary is going to come off the books next year anyway. So, hey, bro, make your business decision. If you think that you can sit out and don't want to get paid because you mad because we drafted a quarterback and we don't owe you nothing. You getting old. We needed to replace you. They didn't owe him anything. Marino got the same treatment. Joseph Dolphins going to find a quarterback.
Bruh. So they gave Dan the shoe, man.
He was getting old.
That's why y'all ain't had nothing go right, man. Y'all
No. Hey. Let's go back to the greatest with you, man. I know that, but the greatest player of all time was winning championships, and they still was trying to replace him. They told him this is the last ride, bro. You getting old. 36, one thing you can do it past this year.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
The Bulls got rid of him.
Yeah. San Francisco got rid of Joe Montana. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't care how many chips you got. You got to go. You got to leave here. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here.
You have to go home, but you can't stay here.
So I'm with you on that one.
Right.
Come on,
Yeah,
really?
I'm with you on that one. Hey man, I couldn't believe it.
Hey, I'm like this, man. You don't. Oh, I thought that was meaningful. I'm like this. If you can't, once you get older, bro, it's time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's time. You got to move on. He did it with Dwayne Wade. I'm not mad at organizations doing that, and I'm not mad at for players trying to cash in. Again, I'm not mad with Xavier Howard. He would try to cash in for real. I'm not mad at him about that, but I wouldn't pay him if I was a Dolphins GM. Nice means now I control everything. That's what that means.
Oh, I thought it meant something else.
But what did you think it meant?
Well, I thought it meant nerds, idiots, cuckoos, and that's a little sarcasm, everybody. That's all.
I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't see that coming.
Actually, the seat was cockroach.
I didn't see that coming at all. I thought he was gonna say something else, but that just I didn't see that coming at all. No, it ain't bad. It's funny.
It is. You've been sitting on that. It was pretty creative, actually.
Of course, I always try to come up with weird acronyms.
Hey, that was a good one, though. That was a good one.
But that was a good one, bro.
You worse.
You thought about that one for a minute, for real.
Oh yeah, actually 2 minutes.
Okay, so yesterday, before we get out of here,
right,
during the Euro soccer match, Christian Eriksen collapsed on the field, on the pitch.
Awful.
Yeah, man.
Brought back memories for me of Hank Gathers. I didn't see it live, but we all saw it. We all saw what happened, on the news or whatever sports outlet was at the time. I don't know if ESPN was out at that time. Were they out in '89? Yeah, they were out in '89. So I think it was sports.
They weren't mainstream like that.
Yeah, but that was rough. And then the fact that the news came out the day that they had to perform CPR on Buddy, so he can to resuscitate.
The doctor said he was gone.
He was gone.
When we first got to him, he was gone.
Yeah. So my question to you guys: sports showed how important it is, whether it's soccer, Major League Baseball, the NBA, or the NFL, that they continued that game after they found out he was okay. So sports showed you where their priority is, Lou. What did you think about them continuing that game after this dude?
I mean,
he died. No, he died.
Right.
Almost.
Right. Yeah, it's true. After this dude died on the pitch, and they decided to resume the game a couple hours later. What did you think about that?
Not a good move. They should have suspended. They should have spent at least a day or maybe even a couple of days more, because while you're in critical condition and practically dead, it wasn't CPR. That I don't think would have been right to continue, and they continued within an hour and a half later. The good news is, though, at least he was responding to his teammates and everything. He's in stable condition now, so at least it turned out to be good. But that was not the right move to make. They should have suspended for at least the rest of the day, maybe pick it up like the next day, or maybe wait a couple of days. I know they got to cram it all in with the scheduling, but still, use common sense first, because that's more important. They think, well, we'll lose our money, we'll lose everything if we delay it. Health comes first,
Let me before I ask Derek, let me just hit you with a follow-up real quick. Are you surprised that they continued that game?
I was.
Honestly,
yeah.
You got more hope than I do. You got way more hope than I do. D, he collapsed, so they have continued playing that soccer match.
No, when they got to him and they found out, hey, this dude is dead. We gotta resuscitate him now. They should have started clearing the stadium then. Because let's just play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's just say they can't bring him back on the field and everybody is watching. Like the doctors ain't stupid. They know what they're looking at. As soon as they got out, they were like, man, this dude is coded, man. We gotta do something. They should have had some kind of communication list and start emptying the stadium. Take the players, tell them this game over. This game is over. But it don't matter. That's why I tell people all the time, I don't put any faith in any sports league. I don't care what people say. Oh, we love our players. No, you don't. You like your profits. Just say that. Just say, listen, I respect you more. I respect you more. Just tell us the truth. Listen, I don't care about none of y'all. That's why I don't care about, like you were talking about Paul George. I don't care what nobody says. Do what make you happy. Do what make you happy. Do whatever decision is gonna make that's gonna make your life better. Because these leagues, these teams, the leagues, the players, heck, most of the time, even the fans don't care.
Sure don't.
They don't be giving a damn. You be broke both your legs. Oh man, we gonna lose the series. Nah, hey man, this dude might not walk right ever again. They don't care about you. You gotta listen. Be greedy. You have to be greedy. Get all you can get while you can get it, and when you get an escape time, get out. Get out. Call it a day. Cause that was crazy, man. Like he literally died.
Yes.
On the field. Like I was surprised that the doctor had told what happened. He was like, man, when we got to him, he was gone. We had to resuscitate him right then on the field.
There are two things I took from that right away when it happened. First, I was like, dang, that sucks. That's really bad. And why is this still being shown? Like,
right.
Like
they just went to the booth
watching this. Yeah, why are we still? Okay, you show. My girl was watching. She was like, they just did CPR on him. I was like, they just did CPR. I had to step back and I looked and I said, okay, they need to cut the feed. It's time to cut it. Why are you still
just letting it go?
You shouldn't shut that.
Yeah, and they still. So basically, you showed again. This is all about production. No matter what you think about sports and whatever event, this is still all about production. And so it was a TV production. It was an event that you wanted to show, and you still show. So that's number one. And number two, I said this. My girl said, "You cold." Oh, they're gonna play this game. They're gonna play this game. If it turns out he's okay and he's responded, they're playing later because their mentality is roll him over. Let's go put the next man in.
Yep.
I don't want to hear about all this. I don't want to hear about all that love they have for him. Romelu Lukaku for the Belgian team. And Chris, we love you. Yeah, we love you, Chris, because you live in. But guess what? The game's got to go on because the Euros did not play last season. But we'd be doggone if it ain't gonna play this year. It's playing. This is.
We're not stopping because you almost died. That's not gonna happen.
That Wade kid that broke his leg in that game versus Louisville in that tournament game. Did you think did they stop?
No, they rolled his tail off the court and game was going back in 10 minutes.
When guys get seriously injured on an NFL field where they come out of Darryl Stingley came out of there paralyzed. Joe Theismann broke his leg and shattered his leg on a Lawrence Taylor sack. I've seen guys they roll over, next man up. That's the mentality of sports, baby. That's the way it goes.
Me and you saw that firsthand. Remember when the guy died on campus?
Yep.
Hey man, they had Matt Drill the next day or the day after they were right back at it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I tell anybody, I would advise anybody with sons, if you are not getting no money for your 4 or 5 star recruited son, whether it's in basketball and football, because those are the two money makers.
You are behind the curve.
You are way behind the curve.
Yeah, get your money, man.
Because when they get your child on that campus, it's a job, baby.
Yeah, he's a commodity. He's not a person.
Nope.
He's not a person. I have seen it up close.
And I'm not even talking about just working at Florida State. I've seen it up close. I know guys who played. I've listened to guys talk about the experiences they had to go through when they got there. Listen, don't let that white dude or that black dude fool you with that sale pitch they come in their house. He makes that sale pitch 25 times a year to get 25 other kids.
No, he make it 50 times to get 25. Yeah, I'm gonna treat him like he's my own. He's gonna be just like my own. Anything happen to him gonna happen to me. He gonna be like that dude on N2 deep cover, whichever one it was, Omar Epps. Anything happen to him gonna happen to me first. That's a lie.
Yeah,
I'm telling that lie.
That's a lie. Yeah, your son can't produce. Your son can't produce, and he not saying we might redshirt him now. We gonna find out what he's doing in practice. That's what we're doing. We're going to find out what he's doing in practice. But if he ain't making no progress in practice, guess what? We're going to bring somebody else in to take his spot straight up.
I know. We're going to board that scholarship. This son, you can stay at school, but you're going to have to get work study. Ain't no more housing in the team facility. You get your apartment off campus somewhere. No football. Okay.
Apparently we're being watched in some part of the world that I don't know. Because I don't even understand that whatever that script is. But
football is the most popular industry in the world, but not American football. Oh, I mean, I thought soccer was the most.
I'm thinking I think that's what he's referring to. Soccer.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't know what the point of the statement is, but he's not wrong.
No.
And if you're still watching, whoever you are, I'm a huge soccer fan. Matter of fact, soccer is my favorite sport.
Yes,
so I know that soccer.
He is.
I know that soccer is the number one sport in the world.
Wrong
so I appreciate him trying to school us or give us knowledge or whatever, but I already know that. So appreciate it though. And thanks for watching.
I was just gonna say he all over the world.
Hey D, we see how nice I was. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
You growing up, man.
I know, because usually I would just blast him. First of all, I don't even know what your name is. You might be black, so I don't know.
Yeah, graduated to middle school.
Yes.
Oh, his comments got nicer. Thank you, because I am a huge fan of the United States men's national team. So thank you. Your comments got nicer. I really appreciate it.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about soccer. I learned everything from soccer from watching you.
Well, it's a build-up sport. You're an American sports fan, and you're used to action happening. See, you need 5 fat guys in front of a very talented thrower to throw the ball as far as he can to the fastest guy on the field, and that's excitement for you. And to me,
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, for me, I look at it as they just run the fall down. Don't get me wrong, I love football. But I'm just saying, they just run the fall down. That's pretty much all it is. When I watch the games, I say they just run the fall down.
Hey, I like basketball. I like basketball too.
Yes.
Okay.
I like watching Luka. I love watching Luka.
I don't know about Luka.
I love watching
Luka,
man. I like Luka.
Okay. Before we get out of here, I said that 20 minutes ago. Now I mean for real. All right, but for real, before we get out of here, let me ask you guys this question. If the NBA had the handshaking rules from the 90s in there, how good would Luka, Trae Young, James Harden be? How good would they be?
They be average. They'd be average at best. They would literally be average at best. Like I would love to watch 29-year-old Gary Payton play against James Harden, and they let him play the way that they used to play against guards then. Listen, James Harden would probably go home and shave off his beard. I can't do this. He's slowing me down. He probably crying on the sideline, man. I've seen Gary Payton just break the soul of people. I'm not kidding, man. I would love to have seen it. Gary Payton, what's the boy name? Derek Harper. I would have loved to watch them go at it, man. Vernon Maxwell,
Alvin Robertson. I'm talking about them are dogs.
Yeah, man. You had dudes who were just like, as good as some of these guys are, man. It's like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant could play in any era, but Scottie Pippen would have mauled him.
Oh my gosh,
bro! It would have been a bad day at the office. They were talking about how PJ Brown handled him today. To me, that's how basketball is supposed to look. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to just let you shoot.
I agree with that, but what I was saying is you're calling it one way on one end of the court.
It's by day almost.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to let PJ Tucker guard him like that, then PJ Tucker was guarding him like that in game 1 and 2, but you blew the whistle. You didn't. Right. You swallowed the whistle the last 2 games. That's my only problem. You're just being inconsistent with how you calling the game in regards to how far you're gonna let PJ Tucker push him out. And y'all can get over it. All you 7 Giannis fans outside of Milwaukee, you guys can get over it. He can't guard Kevin Durant.
No,
he can't.
No,
he can't guard Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant hits him with 2 hezzies and he's gone. And he would never do that to Scottie Pippen. He couldn't.
No.
He couldn't even do that to Rick Fox because Rick Fox would probably trip him. But anyway, I'm just saying he is these dudes with the. But I'm saying he is these dudes or George Lynch. Or George Lynch. You know, I'm talking about rugged guys who would be like, you know what? I can't get out there and match his skill, but I can beat him up. Yeah, that's what the 90s would have been. Oh my God, Stacey would have mauled him, and they're the same size. They're the same size. Stacey would have mauled him because he just would not have let him do all that.
There's one guy who I would have loved to see play back then who I actually think could have pulled it off. That's Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi could have handled it until he got hurt. Like, I think he would have stayed hurt a lot. Physicality for physicality, I think he might have been a decent match for some of those guys, but I don't think his body would have held up.
I agree with you. I think the only guy in this era that could have played back then, well, that's two guys. I'm gonna give Steph a little something because Steph was just shot from half court. They couldn't have done nothing to him. But Kyrie and LeBron could play in that era because Kyrie's handles translate past any era.
It's past time, I know.
Yeah,
Steph could have pulled it off, man. Steph could have pulled it off because listen, he could have pulled it off for the same reason that Reggie Miller was so good. Because he don't need the ball.
Okay, he can play like that.
Klay Thompson, people like that who don't need the ball to do damage. And like they could just score coming off a screen. Like they catch it, it's gone. Like Reggie Miller was like the coolest dude to watch if you weren't overly athletic because he just run and push and do all kinds of crap. But if you ever gave him like a clean look, you could cancel Christmas. So you know what I mean? Yeah, like those kind of guys could pull it off, but then they got to play defense. And you weren't guarding some of those dudes, man. Like, can you imagine like Blake Griffin and some of them guys trying to check Anthony Mason? like some of them dudes back then, man, Sean Kemp and Karl Malone. Karl Malone would have averaged 35 points a game right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 35.
Maybe 40.
Yeah.
So his dude looked like a WWE superstar.
Mike would have averaged 50 because you can't touch him. You can't put your hands on Mike. So Mike would average 50 because there was nobody that was created that can guard Michael Jordan except for Joe Dumars, and that's because he could hold him. That was it. But
so yeah, you know,
and it's the same thing with LeBron. LeBron could play back in that era because he's physical enough to go to the basket. But yeah. All right. I gotta get out of here. Got that crazy work schedule tonight. But I thank you guys for your time. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Listen, if you want video editing, I moved into that area of this streaming business. If you want video editing, whether it's for a podcast, wedding, I've done some highlight videos recently, any type of video that you want edited, added, get my special touch on it, just hit me up. By Facebook Messenger, or you can hit me up by my email, willwalkershow@yahoo.com. My prices are reasonable. I ain't gonna break your pocket, but I'm gonna get paid.
Believe that.
For real.
We'll do that for free, but breathe, Will.
Well, that's it. But and another thing I want to say about podcasting, because I got this question: what does it take to get into podcasting? You better be passionate about it. Lou can tell you this. D go tell you this when he gets the show started. You better be passionate about it because you may not get the viewers or the downloads, and it may discourage you. But be passionate about it. Do it because you like it. Do it because you love it. But if you're trying to get rich, God bless you. Please let me know the secret so I can find out. I would like to know because I've been in this.
Pass the sauce.
Please pass the sauce. Don't keep it from you, boy, because I've been in this 7 years and it has not made me rich, not one bit. So I do it. Well, I do it because it's fun. And we're going to close the podcast the same way we close it every single time. This is say a prayer for somebody, especially in this crazy world that we're dealing with, because prayer changes things. I holla. You guys be safe. Thank you, everybody. Yes, sir.